This week's Tru.F.Lo.S is dedicated to the memory of Hana Kimura. Um, while we always have hard times with women and men, no one deserves to die. No one deserves to take their own life. In Japanese culture, people are always likely to commit suicide when feeling doubt and a loss of self worth. I know how that feels. I have always felt suicidal in high school. I'm glad I survived my high school years. Some people did not, but no one deserves to take their own life, and anybody who bullies anybody should not be forgiven. You don't deserve forgiveness for that. So, Hana Kimura, domo arigatou gozaimashita. Subarashi hito deshita. Omae no koto ga suki da yo. Domo arigato. Honto ni. Now let's start the show. This is Tru.F.Lo.S number 17, I think. I've put the first 16 videos in a playlist. I also have anniversary games in playlists, so I have two new playlists. So please check those out. I will be adding this one to the playlist so you can listen to my rabbling all day long. I think I have about a couple of hours worth of Tru.F.Lo.S. I'm going to set up more playlists as we go along so that you can have more content to listen to. So this is a very simple topic I want to talk about. I'll probably do a Tru.F.Lo special number 3 this Wednesday. So it's hard for the guy to get the girl. So we know it's hard to get laid. It's hard to get the princess. This happens, okay? So what we do is what I used to do a lot, and I stopped doing it, I think after 2018, no, 2017. I think after 2017, I stopped doing this, okay? But we always try to go into groups. We say, we're going to join a book club. We're going to join a writing club. We're going to join an art club. We're going to join an archery club. We're going to go join a dojo. We're going to find our peers. We just know it, right? Because finding groups, fitting into groups is just the thing to do. But there's always a problem with this. And the problem is that if you try to join that group, are you necessarily welcome into it? Now, if you know your video games, do you know any instances where Link joins a Mario game and it's story driven? I don't. I mean, like I remember seeing Link in Super Mario RPG and Mario Kart 8, and then there's Super Smash. There's not much story there. All the heroes just somehow come together, but not in a comprehensive story. The only story I can think of right now is like Mario plus Rabbids, Mushroom Kingdom Battle. I think that was about it. So you see one of these things is not like the other. It's the black sheep syndrome. And the black sheep syndrome is just when you're not going to fit in with other people. I can't tell you how many times I would try to fit in with creative writing groups, with author groups, with theater groups, with artists who want to be artists. But I would get these weird people who would just talk about nonsensical things that were cool to talk about for like a minute, but they would go on about it in art groups. Creative writing groups, narcissism, animosity, bigotry, wetback, nigger, jap, chink hate, passive aggressive hate. No, just bullshit. I would deal with people, like people in my neighborhood. I can't talk to them. Almost got into a fight with somebody this morning. I'll talk about that on Wednesday. It's like you just want to kill people. I mean, there's some people who just want to kill people, like Columbine, and you just like what stops you is that everybody else has done that, and you don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be yourself. You want to be the black sheep. What's the point of killing people in a mall or school if everyone else has done that and has ultimately failed, and you're just catering to you're more to the people of sympathy on the victims you hurt rather than yourself. So we try to ultimately stave off of that by either doing drugs or looking at pornography, or if some of you are dumb enough, following Twitch thoughts and giving them money. But we're trying to find peaceful solutions to our problems, and it causes us more problems. And so when I see that one of these things is not like the other, it's harmful, it's hurtful. And I get tired. I remember I tried to join this one group. It was like a speakeasy in which you would talk about, you would talk about a story in your real life, maybe mostly nonfiction. and you would talk about it. Maybe you change the names to protect the innocent and the stupid. And you would go on. I talked about my neighbors from years ago, how they would mistreat me and just take a piss and shit where I sat. They're just not good people. And I would go on, and the person the showrunner was somebody who used to do television and film, but was like a D-list celebrity. But this person would talk about diversity. Diversity according to Hollywood values. So that's me saying this. I get tired of narratives that are passive aggressive. They're like, oh, it's about doing God's work, but it's really about doing your work. The Last Jedi, Ghostbusters 2016. What else? She-Ra. All these weird, idiotic cartoons. I'm gonna throw my chips in and say Lower Decks of Star Trek. What other ones? I mean, they're all these samey looking things, and it affects your ability to just join a proper group of people like yourself. This is it. This is the group. We are the group, right? The real group. See, the problem is, in real life, here are all these characters, but they have nothing to do with the Link, nothing to do with the hero. You are the hero, Link. You are the hero. Or you play the old school games. If you're not playing Breath of the Wild, you're playing the old school games. You get to put your own name in. But in real life, your friends are on this tablet. They're not. They're not in real life. So you're by yourself, and that's the harsh reality of the whole thing. I really think that it's detrimental to try to not find similarities amongst ourselves. Now, what do I have in common with the people around me in East LA Commerce, Boyle Heights? We're Chicanos. We can throw down if we have to, but most of us don't, unless there's a real problem. There's three kinds of people I see. I see the emo skateboarding goofy nerds that will simp for females. I see thugs or wannabe thugs or inbred type of people. Well, actually, inbred mentality people, that would probably be another group. And then I see immigrants, either illegal immigrants or legal immigrants. I never see somebody who is outside of those by the book, paint by number characterizations. It's just stupid. I just can't deal with that. So I try to find people who are not prescribing to a ism, an ist, uh, any kind of thing. Basically, that they're trying to do what they feel for themselves, what they want for themselves. They think of themselves first, and then they'll try to fit in with a group. And that's the way I approach things. It was hard. I did campus ministry when I was in high school. I did the theater groups in my late 20s, early 30s. I did the creative writing groups in my 20s and 30s. And like I said, the storytelling group I did was in 2017. And I just threw up my hands and said, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna do for me. I'm gonna work. This is like when I started doing YouTube posts, that was the beginning of the end of me trying to fit into groups. This is an unfortunate thing. We come up with that idea because we can't get a girlfriend, we can't get a date. So we try to think more on the left side of our heads and say, I want to have a family to belong to. I made a mistake in asking for things like that in the professional side of things, and that was stupid because your coworkers are not your friends, your bosses are not your friends. There is no feeling of warmth. I think if we are more responsible in how we have children and put them in the line of fire. Remember I told you, and this is the thing, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be a hard ass with you. I'm going to call you motherfuckers sometimes of this. But if you knock up a girl in desperation of being with a girl, and you're not happy with her, and therefore sort of putting yourself back into the true forced loneliness scenario, who do you think suffers for that? Fuck you, fuck the girl. It's about the kid. Now the kid suffers. Now what you have done is created another true forced lonely person. It's one thing when you were truly forced and alone. Now you're creating someone else doing that. That's hard. So when we are born into that scenario, we try hard to not create that same scenario in someone else. And that person is forced to look for somebody, to look for someone that is within their group. Because it can happen. And, someone else could be trying to find someone else, and someone else could be trying to find someone else. It would be great if you could find someone who was all by themselves. But the problem is you may not be physically attracted to that person as far as females go. Or that female may be a lesbian or that something. But, you're just going to have to try to start somewhere to make friends first and then see if you can attract that female. What I want what I want females to understand is that I am who I am. And I change for me. I evolve for me. I I mentally and physically endure more as I get older because of me and not because of you. And for groups, I want other people, I want my peers or people a little bit younger. Most people, I'm going to find people in their 30s or 20s. That's fine. I mean, I'm not going to find people exactly my age anymore. That's not, that doesn't, I think you stop looking for people your age to do things after you're 35. I think it's kind of like, well, you just, whoever's there, whoever has enough intelligence to hold an intelligent conversation with you is there. But I think as far as just dealing with people, we have to find our similars. We have to find something. And the fact that, Mario, Link, and like, let's say Luigi, or even Yoshi sometimes. I don't know. I know Princess Peach, she's had her own video game. Doesn't really work. But, they tried. Or even Yoshi sometimes. The fact that they come together and find something to do. They could just find a common ground. They both don't like enemies. They don't like when somebody fucks with peace and quiet. So you try to find that. But I always feel that this kind of thing happens in movies where the end of the world is nigh and everybody has to like stop being so selfish all the time. I mean, look where we're at. We're in fucking quarantine, but people just, are out for themselves. That's the way it is. We don't have neighborhood watches in our neighborhood. I feel like that's for like white people. You may disagree because neighborhood watches, and I think even maybe Martel the Cool might understand this one. I think neighborhood watches do not exist in the black and Mexican ghettos. They don't. Snitches get stitches, right? Who's gonna work together to rub out the bad stuff in the world? We don't do that. White people with Christian values and nice homes and cul-de-sacs. Oh yes, we must be vigilant. We must look out for all these bad things. It doesn't happen in the ghetto. It just doesn't. It's not my rules, ladies and gentlemen or gentlemen. It just fucking happens this way. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about as far as today goes. Um, every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle to see where I am at. We get into the same things over and over. We try to get things done a certain way. I'm almost finished working on the final draft of Metal Men. It has been taking a while. I've been doing other things. But it's hard to find people to share all these things with because they don't give a shit. They care about people out here in my ghetto. They care about drugs. They care about lottery tickets if they won the lottery. They care about diet pills and magic potions and ways to cure their problems. They care about, getting fast girls. They care about loud cars, making loud noises, ice cream trucks that go like this and on and on and on and aggravating the shit out of you. People just care about basic shit, narcotics. It's like, I don't want to be around basic people. I want to be around people who want more out of life and aren't going to, the only way you're going to find that is online because everybody around me is a bunch of fucking idiots. So I hope you find your group. I hope you succeed where I fail. And remember, above all else, don't do anything that I would not do.